Hello everyone, I'm Steph Piper from the University of York, and I'd like to spend the next few minutes talking to you about why mess matters in archaeology. First of all, I'd like to ask if you're a messy person. Maybe you have a lot of stuff. You're definitely not alone. I've moved house recently, and that made me realise that I certainly do. And we're in good company. What makes archaeology the very discipline that it is that it is all down to people's mess. The material evidence that people have left behind gives us an incredible insight into their lives. This can range from the very moment that a distant species of early human decided to break a stone cobble open and use it as a tool over 3 million years ago, right the way through to global effects of waste disposal that are happening today. But how do we make sense of this mess that people leave for us to find? What kinds of approaches do we take to bring this information together to tell stories of past lives? Here at York, we pride ourselves on using multi- and interdisciplinary perspectives, such as experimental archaeology, biomolecular science, documents and archives, and digital techniques, as well as good old-fashioned excavation. Over the next few slides, I'll introduce you to some of the cutting-edge research that my wonderful colleagues here at York have been doing, from prehistory to the present. My colleague, Dr. Andy Needham, is an experimental archaeologist and a prehistorian. He uses art and personal ornaments to understand identity and sociality by early hunter-gatherers. Just recently, he published a paper on how engravings of animals on pieces of stone from 15,000 years ago suggest that people were telling stories by firelight. He did this by making replica pieces and analysing digitally enhanced photographs to identify the heat traces. My own research is also based in prehistory. Currently, I'm looking at the ways in which words and language are used to describe people and things, and how this shapes the perceptions and attitudes of the public to people in the past. This has particular relevance for me for recognising whether people think the past has its own part to play in how we might deal with climate breakdown. I also do fieldwork in marginal coastal environments, particularly in Scotland, to determine whether prehistoric sites are threatened by erosion. This is important because often they don't survive as sites that are visible on the surface. So it is really difficult to know if there's any archaeology there in the first place before it might be gone. Also working with threatened archaeology is Dr. Akimbawale Akintayo, who is a research associate on the collaborative project Mapping Africa's Endangered Archaeological Sites and Monuments. Here, he uses his skills in landscape archaeology and remote sensing, which is the use of satellite imagery, to improve access and information about known sites, as well as trying to identify new sites that might be under threat. Professor Michelle Alexander uses traces of past diet to investigate mobility, economy, and subsistence. Her research particularly focuses on how this can inform understanding of cultural coexistence, of social identity, and political conquest in medieval societies around the Mediterranean. And finally, Professor John Scofield is currently working with marine biologists in Galapagos, Chile, the UK, and Australia, and it was working to demonstrate how archaeology can contribute meaningfully to addressing the global challenge of marine plastic pollution. We all know that plastic is an artifact of human production, just like stone tools and pieces of pottery. Through his research, John says he hopes to change the way that people think about this waste and its sources, and so encourage people to think differently about their impacts on the world. You can find out more about our research and the degrees on offer at York over on our website, or get in touch with us at archaeology@york.ac.uk. And if you would like a flavour of archaeology and all of the different strands of evidence that we can use to investigate life in the past, why not sign up to our free FutureLearn online course, Exploring Stone Age Archaeology, The Mysteries of Star Car. It would be great to see you there. Thanks for all your time, everyone, and I hope you have a really great day.